President Trump blasting Democrats as they head for an impeachment disaster. The House Judiciary Committee adopting 2 articles against Trump in a partisan party line vote earlier. The president hitting back.
It's a witch hunt. It's a sham. It's a hoax. I think it's a horrible thing to be using the tool of impeachment, which is supposed to be used in an emergency. You're trivializing impeachment. And I tell you what, someday there'll be a Democrat president and there'll be a Republican House, and I suspect they're going to remember it. I'll do whatever I want. Look, we did nothing wrong. So I'll do long or short. I wouldn't mind a long process because I'd like to see the whistleblower who's a fraud.
The full House vote on impeachment is expected sometime next week. But now a growing number of moderate Democrats are reportedly on the fence about it. And in the Senate, Mitch McConnell is ready to crush the left's dreams. He says there's 0 chance Trump will be removed from office. Other Republicans ripping into Democrats, carrying out this charade.
This is the kangaroo court that we're talking about.
This is outrageous. It's more Stalin-esque than
unbelievable. Not even consult.
Just Stalin-esque.
The chairman's integrity is gone. His staff is gone. This was the most Bush League thing I have seen forever. This committee is more concerned about getting it on TV in the morning than it was finishing its job tonight.
This was a kangaroo court. Outrageous to put the country through this.
For Democrats, impeachment is their drug, it is their obsession, it is their total focus, and it is deeply disappointing that they failed to meet the standard that they set for themselves.
Wow, did Gates steal your line, Greg, about drugs?
I think I've used that a lot, drugs.
He's watching.
That is. I feel bad for the kangaroos. They're always like being lumped into bad things. Yeah, a kangaroo court.
All they do is hop around.
Seems to me that a kangaroo court would be a lot of fun.
Sure would be.
Speaking of which, this process has the feeling of a Harlem Globetrotters game, right? No matter what you're witnessing right now, we all know the outcome. When we used to watch ABC Wide World of Sports and they'd have a Harlem Globetrotters game, it always ends and the Globetrotters win. And this is what's going to happen to the Dems. Even though they know, they remind me, I feel bad for the Dems. They remind me of the time me and my brother-in-law, we were sitting at home and we decided we were going to drive 4 hours to Reno, Nevada to gamble. And so we got in the car, we drove, and as we got to Reno, we realized that we needed to go to bed. But we'd already committed.
How old were you?
We already committed. This was like last month. And we already committed, and this is what happens. When you commit to a really dumb idea, you have to be brave enough to admit it's a dumb idea and just step back. And we ended up turning around and getting a hotel and going back into bed.
Wow, that could have been a really good story.
No, it didn't. We're old men.
And then we decided to play one more hand, and we won $10,000.
But how delusional is it that they want a wider TV audience for this, right? That's why they postponed the impeachment. They think the solution for their idiocy is to get more people to watch their idiocy.
Right, because as this process has gone on, people have changed their opinions a little bit about impeachment, and they're not buying what the Democrats are selling.
And you can see that in we've talked about Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, but I was talking to a source today who said they've looked at independent voters in Georgia, Arizona, Iowa, and that the trend line is very similar. So the independents are like, we're not for this. Maybe, I'm not saying that the election is going to be a breeze for President Trump, but at least for independents, they're like, let's just handle this at the ballot box. Could I make a prediction?
Yes, you're very good at those.
I have a good prediction. Okay, so have you seen this pre-spin of expectation setting that there could be a slew of Democrats who are going to vote against impeachment?
Yes.
I think that is spin because they want the narrative out there that they could lose a bunch, so that when they only lose 2 or 3 or 4, it will look like they held their caucus together. And Pelosi had said, remember, she already broke that one promise, right? She said, I am not for impeachment unless it's bipartisan. The only bipartisan vote she could get right now is against impeachment.
That's true.
And there's been a couple of Democrats, House Democrats, who are in those districts that President Trump won in 2016, who have said they're going to be against impeachment. It's like, nice try. I still think they're going to get punished electorally because they are still part of the crew that enabled and continued this impeachment inquiry.
I'd like to play a soundbite for Juan, and then maybe you could react to that.
Is this a Christmas gift?
This is. We can unwrap it right now. It is the Jeffrey Toobin soundbite from CNN.
Donald Trump, in a way, has already won. How much did we hear about Hunter Biden? Over and over again about Hunter Biden. That's what the Republicans are talking about constantly. And, you know, there are questions about Hunter Biden's behavior.
Yeah, throughout this, the Biden team got crushed, Juan.
Oh, yeah. Boy,
what you call collateral damage.
Yeah, I see. He's really sinking the polls. Boy, he got crushed.
Hey, he's losing to Trump at every battleground.
Oh, get out of town. You know,
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's not losing, and he's stayed steady. But you're right, in terms of sliming him, yeah, Trump's message got out there, and I don't think it helps Biden, you know, as we approach the general election, if that's your point. But I think that, you know, to the larger point here today, if there's a prediction to be made next week, you can bet your whole dollar on it when you get to Vegas, Greg. The House will impeach Donald Trump, and he'll be the third president in U.S. history to be impeached, and he'll be impeached for a lot of very strong reasons: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. You know, today, Nancy Pelosi put out a video, and in the video, she had Republicans, former Republicans, who were very clear, you know what, we can't take this Trump stuff anymore, this abuse, this kind of attitude. You know, she had people saying, you know, if Obama had done anything close to what Trump has done, we would have impeached Obama. And I think the other point to be made here is that what you see in terms of the Republican talking points, you know, what Steve Scalise, the Republican whip, puts out, you have the partisan blindness and lined up with right-wing media to protect Donald Trump from the facts.
That huge right-wing media that's out there.
It is huge. Gosh.
Right-wing conspiracy.
The top talk radio show, Limbaugh, you know, the top newspaper in America, the Wall Street Journal.
Freedom of the press, Juan.
No, I'm just saying.
What a scary thing.
This is it. And this thing about moderate Democrats defecting, I think Dana's exactly right. There's just no sign of this. Max Rose, right here in New York, who was
upset. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Max Rose is like, well, you know, I think that we've got a case here for a strong case for impeachment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kagan.
President Obama really got impeached when he told President Medvedev, oh, well, I'll have more flexibility after the 2012 election. Tell Vladimir Putin that, who is the incoming president. Here's the Democrats like to act like they have the moral high ground on this, and they're talking down to the American people. Less than 10% of Republicans support impeachment. The independents nationwide never got above 50% in terms of support. Instead of a moral high ground, they're sitting atop a heaping, steaming pile of donkey dung. And they can't smell how bad it is because they're so wrapped up in their own story. This impeachment narrative started before President Trump was even nominated to as the Republican candidate. It's gone on and on. There were dozens of stories right after the election that called for impeaching the president. There was one University of Utah professor who argued that Trump could be impeached immediately because of the Trump University fraud, quote unquote. It's just as smelly as that.
Yeah, we have Nancy Pelosi on tape saying how long they've been trying to impeach him.
One of the biggest criticisms of the process has been the speed at which the House Democrats are moving. But seriously, though,
It's been going on for 22 months, okay? 2.5 years, actually.
Oh, wow. 2.5 years, Dana, they've been trying to impeach this guy.
I mean, sometimes you just, you know, what is it, the gaffe of when you accidentally
tell the truth in Washington.
This also reminds me of the politics of the government shutdown, right? So when do you learn from history? And the Republicans faced a big deficit in popularity after impeaching President Clinton. Impeachment actually strengthened President Clinton. And now I think you're kind of just seeing it repeated. And it's the same thing like with the shutdown. Remember, the shutdown doesn't help anybody. The Schumer shutdown, and the Democrats thought, oh, this is really going to hurt President Trump, and it didn't.
You know why this is a repeat? Record stock market today, wages growing faster than inflation. Right, wages growing faster than inflation, rank and file workers, wages growing even quicker.
Greg didn't even need to go to Reno. Just look at his 401k.
And by the way, I mean, it wasn't the right-wing media, Juan, that was pushing the dossier. You saw an entire media academic entertainment complex that was pushing garbage out there, and they knew it was garbage. There has to be a way that they pay for that. I'm not saying jail time, but I'm saying that maybe a penance, that there's a little hotel on an island, you get all the media there, and they're forced to watch Fox straight for 1 month.
It's called Gitmo.
Wait a minute.
Our version of Gitmo.
Is that where I am?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot, Jesse.
No, but
I mean, to your point,
No,
The
you
IG,
live on
we can
fantasy
forget because there's so much news and the stuff just keeps pouring out like a fire hydrant. But the IG report was this week that found no deep state, no wiretapping, no spying, no, it's just unbelievable.
Fake news,
remember, Trump was saying, "Oh, it's a coup, it's a conspiracy." 22 months. Let me tell you what 22 months is about. 22 months is a Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, who said, "I don't want to do this," who was standing up against the far-right fringes that never liked him. And it was Donald Trump who had that phone call that prompted what we are going to see happen next week, impeachment of a president.
I hope you keep going with this because it's going to end up just like the Harlem Globetrotters. You're going to lose by, I don't know, 50, 60.
No, the Globetrotters win. The Democrats
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
No, the Democrats are not the Globetrotters.
They're the Washington Generals.